Summing up, the organizers of the January events acted according to a clear plan. Berek Asylov, Prosecutor General of Kazakhstan, spoke about the progress of the investigation in the Majlis. Social entrepreneurship has great prospects. A businessman who provides work for socially vulnerable segments of the population is preparing to open branches in the regions of the country and export his products. Kazakh Nightingale, an exhibition dedicated to the 100th anniversary of Roza Baglanova, has opened at the National Museum.
Для нашей семьи, конечно, это большое, это даже не то, что это подарок, это вообще.
For our family, of course, this is not just a huge gift, but a whole event. Exhibits that are presented here are things my mother wore, medals, her belongings, what we keep now. The museum asked for it, and we gladly provided.
Вот, ну, музей попросил, мы с удовольствием предоставили.
More than 1,500 government and commercial buildings were damaged, 765 cars and emergency vehicles were burned, and almost 3,000 weapons were stolen. At a meeting in the Majlis of the Kazakh parliament, Kazakhstan's Prosecutor General Berek Asylov reported on the results of the investigation into the January events. The organizers acted with a clear plan. Riots broke out in 11 regions on January 4th, 5th. While some were looting shops, other armed criminals seized the buildings of state structures, the National Security Committee, the police, the president's residence, and other strategic objects. The aggressors were extremists, criminal gangsters, and radicals, Berek Asylov emphasized.
Начались погромы, поджоги. Этим хаосом воспользовались вооруженные радикалы, устроили точные.
As soon as pogroms and arsons began, armed radicals made use of this chaos, staged targeted attacks on various objects. That's today we see a mixture of extremism, crime, and radicalism. Without decisive actions of the state, the wave of unrest could be followed by a violent seizure of power. At the same time, we can say that all the actions were well coordinated. It's obvious that the rally was planned.
Координированный характер, налицо спланированная акция.
The Prosecutor General noted that multi-billion-dollar damage was caused to citizens, businesses, and the state, and the ultimate goal of the acts was the seizure of power. Moreover, according to Berek Asylov, the security forces tried to contain the violence and did not use weapons to the last, but got along only with non-lethal means: rubber bullets, tear gas, and stun grenades. The capacity of Kazakh seaports is over 23 million tons of cargo per year. This was reported by the Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development of the country. According to the relevant department, in connection with the situation around Ukraine and the resulting logistical difficulties, Kazakh exporters were offered to use an alternative of sending goods through the country's seaports and further along the Trans-Caspian international transport route. According to the data, the total capacity of the seaports of our country is as follows: Aktau port over 14 million tons, Korok port 6 million tons, and Aktau Sea Northern Terminal 3 million tons. In addition, at present there is a possibility of reorientation to the seaports of Kazakhstan up to 18 million tons of cargo. Kazakhstan sent humanitarian aid to Ukraine. The cargo plane departed from Almaty airport and will land in the Polish city of Katowice. The total weight of the humanitarian aid is 28 tons. It included 17 types of medicines such as antibiotics, anti-inflammatory, antitussive, and antihypertensive drugs. In early March, the presidents of Kazakhstan and Ukraine agreed on cooperation between the two countries in the humanitarian sphere. Thus, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development of Kazakhstan worked out the plan of delivering humanitarian cargo along the Almaty-Katowice route by aircraft. The next flight will depart tomorrow, March 15th.
Қазақстан Республикасының президентінің жолдамасы бойынша қазір дәрі-дәрмектің бірнеше түрі.
On behalf of the President of Kazakhstan, medicines are sent on 2 flights on March 14th and 15th. Thanks to the support of the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development, humanitarian aid is sent to Poland along the Almaty-Katowice route.
Көмегімен Алматы, Катовице, Польша арқылы осы гуманитарлық көмек жіберіліп отыр.
All regions of Kazakhstan are in the green zone in terms of coronavirus spread. 64 people were infected in the country in the past 24 hours. The city of Almaty had the highest number of 31 cases, followed by North Kazakhstan region with 12 infected and Nur-Sultan with 8 patients. Since the beginning of the pandemic, the number of coronavirus cases registered in Kazakhstan has exceeded 1,304,000. According to the latest data of the Kazakh Health Ministry, nearly 11,000 residents are currently receiving treatment, almost 1,000 of which are in hospitals. More than 9,074,000 people in the country have been fully vaccinated with 2 components to date. Over 2,975,000 received a booster dose. Coronavirus returned to China. Due to a sharp rise in infections, the country detected almost 2,000 confirmed cases in the past day. Several regions imposed a lockdown. A city of 17.5 million people, Shenzhen, declared a week-long isolation regime. From March 14th, residents are prohibited from leaving the city and required to undergo 3 rounds of testing. All organizations, except for vital ones, suspended their work or switched their employees to remote working. Also, passenger bus services were suspended in Shanghai. The city of Jilin, that recorded the most infections with the Omicron variant, is urgently building additional hospitals for 10,000 beds. Changchun was previously placed under lockdown. People who have recovered from COVID-19 often experience problems with their teeth and oral cavity. According to the Russian dentist therapist of the highest category, Natalia Katkalova, most often such patients come to her with stomatitis, the treatment of which takes a long time. Another problem is that the gums take a long time to heal after surgery. Instead of 5-6 days, it takes 2 weeks and sometimes even more. The doctor noted that dry mouth often occurs after COVID-19. In addition, the coronavirus affects the salivary glands, potentially making a person more vulnerable to other infections. More and more people in Kazakhstan prefer social entrepreneurship. Products made by experts in this industry are of high quality and strike a chord with even the most discerning customer. The owner of one of the capital's social workshops, Emin Askerov, believes so. The entrepreneur began to do his business in 2015, and now 53 employees from socially vulnerable groups of citizens work under his leadership. Among them are single mothers, children from orphanages, people with disabilities, and those released from places of deprivation of liberty.
Представляет из себя некий кластер производства. Это столярный цех, швейный, войлочный, сварочный.
It is a kind of production cluster now. This is a carpentry, sewing, welding, printing shop. We started to open in the regions from last year. We opened the first branch in Pavlodar. Now we are going to open a workshop in Semey. What are we doing? We produce everything that's interesting to our customers. For example, now we have begun to focus on the products for children. We called it anti-gadget products, Fix It Yourself series, where a child has to assemble an eco-wood machine.
И серия «Собери сам», когда машинка сборно-разборная, все это эко, из чистого дерева, ребенок должен собрать.
These toys generate interest among Russian residents. The country is willing to purchase products made in Kazakhstan. Emin Askerov has already partnered with key companies in the country. The social entrepreneur is confident that this is because the quality of the product is important to customers. A new variety of cotton was bred in Turkestan region. A team of the research institute grew a plant resistant to dangerous pests and various soil and climatic conditions. The scientists have been observing the cotton plant for 2 years. The new Kazakh variety of cotton is early maturing, drought-resistant, salt-resistant, and easily tolerates close groundwater occurrence. Breeders hope that it will be possible to increase the yield up to 45 centners per hectare. According to preliminary forecast, 1,800 tons of seeds will be required. Almost 70% of these are ready. Cotton is a heavy feeder. While other plants are self-pollinating and can be cultivated, cotton is cross-pollinated. We have identified the new variety in our own experimental station. The screening of the feature film My Name is Koja took place in Budapest. Representatives of the Kazakh diaspora and Kazakh students receiving education in Hungary highly appreciated the picture about a 12-year-old boy who is inquisitive and kind with an open and decisive character, constantly getting into different trouble. The young people plan to hold such events more often. In total, according to the embassy, about 800 Kazakh citizens study in the best universities of Hungary.
Қазіргі заманда біздің қазақ жастары үшін шетелде жүргенде бұндай шараның болуы өте маңызды. Елді сағынып, шетелде оқып қазақ.
Such events are very important for modern Kazakh youth that studies abroad, because they studying abroad really miss their country, Kazakh customs and traditions, culture and language. Therefore, it is very important that young people be able to watch domestic films that will serve as an example.
Кинолар әкеліп, әртүрлі жастарға сабақ болатын, үлгі болатын кинолар әкеліп, жастарға ол көрсетсе, шетте жүрген жастарымызға бұл меніңше өте маңызды да және ерекше де оларға қуанышты жағдайда.
Қазақша фильмдерді көруге жиналып, біз жаңадан қазақ студенттері.
Gathering to screenings of Kazakh films, we Kazakh students who study abroad get to know each other and establish contacts. At such meetings, we speak our native language, we talk about our culture.
Өз мәдениетімізді еске алып, және де оны қалай жаңғыртамыз деуге болады.
A unique exhibition dedicated to the 100th anniversary of Roza Baglanova has opened at the National Museum of Kazakhstan. The exposition presents the personal belongings of the famous Kazakh opera and pop singer. These are stage clothes, jewelry, various state awards, as well as photographs from her family archive. All this was donated to the main museum of the country by members of her family. According to them, each item of the anniversary exhibition tells about the bright life and creative path of Roza Baglanova, immortalizing her rich song heritage and her memory. On behalf of Head of State Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, in honor of the anniversary of the legendary singer, a number of events of the regional, national and international level will be held across the country throughout the year.
Человек широкой души, общественный деятель. Это кроме того, что она и профессиональная певица, артистка. Ну, естественно, она
She was a person with a broad soul and public figure, in addition to being a professional singer and artist. Naturally, people love her, and she started as one of them. She is Халық Қаһарманы. First of all, I am impressed. Such an exhibition to the anniversary my mother's 100th birthday. For our family, of course, this is not just a huge gift, but a whole event. Exhibits that are presented here are things my mother wore, medals, her belongings, what we keep now. The museum asked for it, and we gladly provide it.
Медали, вещи ее. То, что мы вот как бы храним сейчас, вот, ну, музей попросил, мы с удовольствием предоставили.
Kazakhstan marks Korisu Kuni today on March 14th. This day, residents congratulate each other on the happy coming of spring, say good wishes and pay tribute to the older generation. In addition to the west of Kazakhstan, Korisu, which means to meet each other in Kazakh, is widely celebrated in Sirdarya, Kostanay and Turgay regions, as well as Astrakhan, Saratov, Samara, Orenburg regions of Russia. The main requirement of the Amal Miramı is to take care of younger ones, support the weak and help the poor. We went out to give a festive mood to people and tell the younger generation about this tradition. We therefore organized such a congratulation. We will not only walk the streets but also greet passengers of public transport.